Okay, so I have started a new project. Not that I need a new project, but I want to make another wrapper dress. My plaid one I wear all the time, it is starting to come apart a little bit. So what I've done here is I have draped fabric for the front. This is going to be one solid piece. It's actually going to have like an angle on it. I may have to put a gore on the side, but I want it to be kind of overlapping gather. So I'm actually going to cut quite a bit over on both sides because I want to be able to fold over and have a facing. And my thoughts are I'm probably going to put buttons to about here. And then on the back, I'm going to do a fitted back and then a cartridge pleated skirt on the back. So it's really full in the back, but more fitted on the front. And then I'm going to put big sleeves on it. I just wanted to show you kind of how I do my drafting. I am deliberately making the arm's eye quite a bit bigger because sometimes I find that when I come home from work, I still have like a turtleneck on or a shirt of some kind, and I want to be able to, and there's Astra. Hey Astra, what you doing? She's like, I'm watching. I want to be able to put this over top pajamas or like at the end of the day when I come home from work, or I just like to have a little bit more room in my wrapper. And I am definitely looking for more of a wrapper so that I can wear this as an alternative to my green plaid one. I love my green plaid one, but it's not exactly the most flattering thing, and I want something that's just a little bit more flattering. I did originally think that I was going to do a yoke, but when I kind of started drafting, I realized that I really want this piece to be one piece, like the one that goes straight down. So I have more of a straight down silhouette, and that it might flare. I might put a gore or something on the side to give it flare, you know, like room. And that it'll gather a little bit with a belt. I am probably going to build in a belt rather than a separate belt. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. I just wanted to show it to you. Okay, so this is where I'm at with my wrapper. I have stitched down the collar for try on, but I do think I'm going to probably put some bias tape on that. I did fold back the front quite significantly, and it's a comfortable closure here, but still nice and loose in the middle. I've got pockets here, and I think what I'm going to do is tack the pockets to this interlining forward so that they don't flop around, because right now they're kind of floppy. I cartridge pleated the skirt in the back. I am so happy with that. I also did a hem with the facing material that I used up here. So right now I am actually in the process of putting the sleeves on. So the sleeves are gonna go on. This is the inside, so don't panic. But at each stage that I do it, I'm trying it on. And I'll show you with it on me here in a minute.
I am so tickled by this dress. This is a wrapper and I drafted it myself and I am so happy with it. So this fabric was 50 something inches wide. So it's not the quilting fabric, which is the 44, I believe. But I have bought some of this blue polka dotted fabric and I have bought 5 yards of this to completely line this linen fabric. But as I'm working with it, I'm realizing that I really want the linen fabric to be very lightweight. I want it to be a summer weight wrapper. And so I ended up not completely lining it, but I did do the wrist facings in this. And then I did I did do a facing on the upper part. See if I can show you here. So the upper, like the bodice part, it's faced to about right here. So about waist in the front. And the back piece is fully interlined with this polka dotted fabric. And then the hem has the polka dotted hem facing. And you can totally tell that I did this piece and then I did this piece separate. I didn't do them in one consecutive line. And the reason I didn't do that is when I normally hem things, I do, when it's pleated, like it's a straight piece of fabric, which this back piece is one straight piece of fabric. And I did that first, and then I adjusted the height of the length of that piece at the waist. And then this piece, I adjusted in the front, hanging it on the dress dummy to get the correct height. And so they don't match exactly at the seam. They don't look exactly the same because this piece, I had cut at a diagonal and I didn't want to cut it. I just wanted to piece up. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up taking the bottom of this hem and I'm going to run a piece of woven tape all across the bottom of this hem to protect the edge. I just haven't done it yet. This little strip, this is going to be fun. I haven't done it yet because today is really cold, so I'm not worried about having short sleeves. But my plan is that I'm going to take this and I'm going to attach it up here inside the sleeve at the shoulder. And then what this is going to be is that it's going to be inside. And the idea is that I can roll up my sleeves like this and that I can put a button on the outside of the sleeve, and this will be able to be a short sleeve dress and it'll be scrunched up really nicely. I measured it and I left it really wide here. So my thought is that it's gonna make a really nice short sleeved wrapper for when it's really hot. I'm really excited about it. Pretty sure that's as long as I need to go. I'm gonna play with it. I do have one that's cut a little bit longer than this. So I just took a piece and I folded it over so all the seams are on the inside. There's a little buttonhole here. I just haven't cut it yet. So this is the wrapper. Oh, the other thing I did that's really cool is I reinforced the buttons on the back with some lucette cord. So all the buttons are sewn into the garment, but they're anchored on the back side with the lucette cord. I'm trying a new experiment. So I'm pretty hard on buttons. I sew them in well, but I'm just really hard on buttons. And I thought I saw somebody had anchored their buttons in with lucette cord, running it through the shank. So they had taken the button and they had poked a hole in the fabric and they had put the shank through the backside and they'd run a lucette cord right through the middle of the shank all the way down the front. That's really cool. I don't want to put a hole in the front. Also because I reinforced this front seam really well, I wanted to anchor in the buttons with the lucette cord. Now what I'm finding as I'm buttoning these back and forth, I noticed when I put it on to try it on, and I noticed it this time, is that it really gives that front even more structure. And I didn't put any interfacing in my button facing. So both of my pieces here, I'll show you. So both pieces are folded over, and then they're blind hem stitch on the machine. I did do some hand stitching on this, so the hem is hand stitched, but I wanted to use my blind hem. So there's these little ticks. I don't know if you can see it. See those little ticks? They're more than 2 stitches, more than 2 threads in, but I loved using my blind hem. So it's folded over here and it's folded over here. And then on the dress, I actually hand stitched the front together. I didn't use the machine because I wanted it to be a little bit more invisible. And what I've done is I've overlapped. So down the front, it's overlapped, but I wanted it to be flowy below, but where the buttons are, it's really nicely, it's a little bit more firm because of that lucette cord that's anchoring in all those buttons. Anyway, the other thing that I'm finding really interesting is that I've been very conscientious about making sure that my buttons are on my left side and my buttonholes are on my right side, because I use a buttonholer, like a buttonhole tool, in the upper buttons. I don't usually need them down here, but I definitely need them up here. And I'm finding that that is saving my fingers, and it's making me feel less anxious when I'm getting dressed. Okay, so on the back, I'm just showing you the front, but here's the back. So I've attached my belt. So you see how my belt's attached? But I left it unattached because I wanted you to see that cartridge pleating in the skirt. Isn't that beautiful? I just love that. I just love, I did a mock-up of the bodice on my dress dummy. And when I made the first mock-up, I draped it on the dummy and I fitted this piece down to about here because this is where I get really kind of roundy. And then I just lengthened it when I made the pattern, and I gave it a little bit of an angle. So it's straight in the front and then it angles out just a little bit on the side. It's not a huge flare. It's a little bit of a flare. The other thing I did is I put pockets in this one. So I put a pocket on this side and I made it out of the polka dotted fabric. And they're not huge pockets, but it will hold my cell phone. My cell phone's a little big, so it does give it bulk, but I just really wanted pockets for, like, it's a wrapper. So my ideal use of this is going to be mostly at home, but I wanted a nicer wrapper to throw on to go out. Because my checkered wrapper, it's in really, like, I made it, I think now about 8 years ago. So 8 or 9 years ago now. And I have worn it almost every day the whole time I've had it. And I absolutely love it. It's definitely more conducive to winter weight. I do wear it in the summer, but I wanted a wrapper that I could kind of go out and about in. I have another wrapper that's a print. It's a purple one. There's a YouTube video on it. I should link that. But it's a different pattern. It's more of the tea gown pattern, so it's got more princess seams. And I find that a couple things. I made it too short, so I will not wear it out in public. It just looks weird with modern shoes. The whole design of the dress is beautiful, but I pieced it. It was an experiment. The front facing doesn't go very long. I have been pretty tempted a couple times to take it apart and scrap out the pieces for something else. The other thing is it's a powder lavender, and it is not a color that I would wear out. And this is a cream tan with blue, and I love the navy blue of the pattern. Okay, anyway. So I made with the belt, and I had this 1970s, 1960s belt kit that I had gotten somewhere. I have no idea where. And I covered it with the fabric, matching fabric. And I made myself a little eyelet. I just used an awl, and I did a buttonhole stitch around to make the eyelet. And it's still really loose. It's not really constricting at all. It just pulls the fabric in. And then that's it. I don't like a lot of stuff, so my tendency is probably going to be to tuck it. But it just basically draws up the fabric in the front. That's it. And there you have it. You have a tea gown, or it's a wrapper gown. I am wearing my corset because I made this weekend, and I have an event that I'm going to, a class, a workshop, and I really just wanted something that was really comfortable. I am wearing my brace, my corset. I am wearing one petticoat, one cotton petticoat, and then I'm wearing a cotton under chemisey thing, and then I'm wearing my undergarment up next to my skin, my wool one, with my corset, my brace, and my drawers. It is a little long. I definitely like the wrappers that are quite a bit longer. It doesn't have a train though. It's almost just like a centimeter or two longer in the front than the back, but if it really bothers me, the cool thing about it is I have a belt, and I can really scrunch up the front if I wanted to. It may mean that I take it up just a little bit more in the front, but those front ones are just a straight, so I can easily adjust those, and it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, I'm just really excited to show this off. I'm so happy with it. It's a self-drafted pattern. I made the sleeves very specific. I love puff sleeves. I must be like Anne of Green Gables in disguise or something. I love how they puff at the front. I made them really nice, and I have more ease here because I wanted to be able to, as a wrapper, sometimes I come home from work and I want to just leave like a sweater on or a turtleneck on or a shirt of some kind, and I just want to put something over the top of it and take just be able to get out of one layer and put a wrapper on. And I wanted the sleeves to be nice and wide for that. So the armscye doesn't come up as high as some of my others. I wanted the armscye a little bit lower to accommodate extra fabric if I needed to. But this seam does sit right on top of that shoulder bump. Both of them sit exactly right there. I didn't want a drop sleeve. I don't want like 1840s look. I wanted it to be at the top of that shoulder. The sleeves are a little longer because I like little longer sleeves, and I can always roll them up and then display that beautiful blue fabric. So I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about wearing it. It's 100% linen. I don't even know where I got it. It was in my stash, and I thought, I want a linen spring wrapper. It's March, spring equinox is coming, and I still have a few loose threads, so I'm going to have to clip threads and stuff, but I'm just so excited to show this to you. Well, have a beautiful day, my friends, and hopefully you have fun sewing, because I have really enjoyed this project. It was really quick, took me 2 days. Oh, let me know if you want this pattern. I can give it to you.